Testing, testing, testing. Hi there, guys. My name is Rohan Beve, and today we are going to be talking about how oscillating fans work. Today, we're going to be talking about, well, how do oscillating fans work? So, we've seen many types of fans, ceiling fans, and without rotor blade fans and such, okay? Maybe one type of fan that you might have seen maybe in some house or not, or maybe mounted on a wall, are oscillating fans. But how do they exactly work? Well, let's start with some basic stuff, okay? So, in the bottom, as we know, this is where we normally, these are where the controls are. The first button you click, the more or less the white button is the power on and off for the fan, and the rest and the other three are just for the speed. Now, how those work is that they're basically plugged in and there's springs underneath the buttons, okay? So normally when you click the power button, okay, you just click it and it immediately goes back up. But say whenever you click one of the power buttons, you click it in, it stays in, but when you click another power, not power, but speed button, it clicks in and the other one clicks out, right? How does that happen? Well, it's inside the mechanism that, yes, all the buttons are connected to springs, but what the springs are attached to, though, it's connected to this frame, okay? The power button is different because the frame is slanted like this, okay? So when it pokes through, it just slides and then can go back up. But with the others, it's hooked, okay? So due to it being hooked, it gets latched on, and due to the spring, when another button is pressed, it pushes it forward, releasing the hatch for that one. It moves up and it presses in. So when that happens, okay, it's connected to a few wires and it releases an electrical signal that basically goes all the way up to here, where this is where you rotate the fan, okay? So you can either point it up or point it down, and it goes all the way up to the motor, okay? So it goes to the motor, and the motor basically, spins the rotors, okay, which gives us the air, okay? But let's look into the reason on something else, being how does an oscillating fan, so what does oscillating mean, okay? That basically means rotating side to side, okay, in a similar pattern, okay, since it's like this, okay, it's just blowing wind in one direction, okay, but if you wanted to spread out more, you'd need to move it left to right, okay, steadily, and that's basically what oscillating means, okay. But the thing is, the fan's back, okay, it can't fit more than two motors, right? So why not we use the spin of rotation from the first motor to make it turn? But how does that all work, per se? Well, the thing is, okay, in order to understand that, we have to look at something called a four-bar mechanism. Okay, so these bars, okay, there mainly be four bars. A fixed bar, okay, one bar that is normally fixed, and another one being the crank, aka the motor. So this is the one that's turning it. And then there are two followers, the follower and the coupler, okay? And these basically, there are various types of four-bar mechanisms, but we're looking at this specific type, okay? But instead of this bottom one being fixed, let's say we move it to this with this follower one and we swapped it, okay? Since this one is fixed and we turn the crank, if you see that, it'll actually move in an oscillating rotation, okay? And it'll move forward and backward, okay? So how this translates is that this is basically where the first part is. This is the fixed part of the four-bar mechanism. Then the second part here, the second fixed part, the third one, the crank, okay? And the crank is basically turned by the gearbox, and then the coupler is basically just the motor itself, okay? But speaking of, how does this entire thing actually even work? Well, it's thanks to the crank. But how does the crank work? It uses the gearbox. How the gearbox works is basically it takes the rotation from the motor, okay? and uses it to turn the fan itself. How? Well, it's connected to a little plug, okay, that jets out, and it's connected to a worm gear, okay? So when this worm gear spins, it moves this other gear, okay? So while it moves this other gear, there's this switch on top. So when you click this, okay, it basically moves a little compartment with a few ball bearings in it, okay, and a spring attached. So when it moves down, the spring pushes out, okay, and the ball bearings fit into these slots inside of the gear, okay, basically connecting it to this other gear, okay, and it connects to another gear, which is connected as the crank, okay. And it's like, and there are a bunch of these gears and stuff, so that way it can slow down. Because if we actually use the real speed of the motor for the actual turning, well, it literally might as well just break, okay? So that's why there are a bunch of these gears. So then we turn on the motor, we click the power button, okay? It moves all this, we click our specific speed, the electrical signals go up to the motor, and if we want it to turn and oscillate, we click this button here. So then the worm gear spins connected to another gear. So when we push that in, the ball bearing compartment pushes out, connecting to the gear. So then it moves down to another gear, connects to the crank, which is followed by a 4-bar mechanism allowing the oscillating fan to, well, oscillate, okay? That's basically how an oscillating fan works, and that's basically it. Thank you for watching this video, and hope to see you next time.